Brazil, for the first time, lost now 3 official matches in a row since 2001. Brazil didn't lose any 3 official matches in a row since 2001. That time lost 4 matches in a row. Let's see what happens now. But the future of Fernando Diniz, people are talking about. We don't know what's going to happen with Fernando Diniz, with Carlo Ancelotti. People are discussing about the quality of the players. For you to know, guys, in Brazil, the fans, many fans, are saying that this is the worst Brazilian team ever. I don't think that that's the case.
There's a lot of injuries though, right? There's a lot of players missing at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I can remember some bad teams from Brazil, like the second tenor of Dunga had the Brazilian team. This team of 2001 that played the Confederations Cup. So we have talent. We have talent players for Brazil, but we need to make a team. And the scenario of waiting Carlo Ancelotti, this is the problem. The problem is when the CBF, the Brazilian Football Confederation, decided after the World Cup that we want Carlo Ancelotti. So we're going to wait for Carlo Ancelotti how much time he needs. Then they thought that it could be possible to go with Ramon Menezes, the coach of the under-20 team. It was a mistake. After the matches against the friendly match against the African teams, they saw that. So they decided to make a plan B or a plan C. So let's gonna hire Fernando Diniz, the best Brazilian coach working in Brazil with Fluminense. They got Fernando Diniz, and the things aren't working. Will Carlo Ancelotti be the Brazilian national team manager? They don't know. They have the yes. What we know is that they have the yes from Carlo Ancelotti, but there's nothing signed. Of course that there's nothing signed because Ancelotti can't sign anything. Inside CBF, they still think that Ancelotti will be the manager. But what are we going to do in the next month? Brazil has 2 friendlies. Brazil has the Copa America. Brazil has some problems ahead.
All right, we should remind everybody, all those people who maybe are not Brazilian but are fans of Brazil and the green and gold, Brazil will still go to the World Cup because they have 6 playoff spots, 6 spots out of 10, plus 1 in the playoffs. So the sky isn't falling, not yet. But on the Ancelotti point, and this is the part I really don't understand, and help me with it. As you said, Ancelotti's not allowed to sign anything until January 1st, regardless. I think, how can I put this in a way that won't get me into trouble? I think it's been made pretty clear to many people that if Real Madrid offer Ancelotti the chance to stay, his contract expires on June 30th, then he might stay. He might choose to stay. I think he said what my understanding is, I will very happily go and manage Brazil if my time isn't renewed at Madrid. What I don't understand is Ancelotti's contract with Real Madrid ends on June 30th, 2024. The Copa America begins on June 15th, 2024, right? The Champions League final, I think, is 2 weeks before that. I think La Liga. La Liga ends. How are they thinking that? How can the president of CBF saying Ancelotti will be here for the Copa America? Blah blah blah. What is he thinking? Does he not understand the timescale? Is it smart to be saying these things?
Yeah, this is the problem, and we're also saying this, Gab, because and I also say that things in football change so quickly from one day to the other. So we have Carlo Ancelotti has said yes for us, but you have a whole season ahead of that. So many things can happen. Real Madrid can win the Champions League. They can push for Mbappé again. They have a very young team with players who have just renewed their contracts. So Carlo Ancelotti can change his mind if he really said yes, and that's what we know, to CBF. And this time scale doesn't match. That really doesn't match. And Gabi, Brazil, the Brazilian Football Federation underestimated the strength of their rivals in South America. They underestimated the qualifiers in South America. Will Brazil go to the World Cup? Of course. With seven spots, seven, Brazil will go to the World Cup. But this is not the problem. The problem is how Brazil is playing, how poorly Brazil is playing. What's going to happen? We don't have a team today. We have talented players.
I think
but
he's
we
worrying.
don't have a team.
I think Gus is right. And again, there was a lot of players missing. So you know, if everybody is fit, it's a different team than the one that we saw against Argentina. But still, a team with Emerson Royal, a team with like some of those players who started that game. It's not Brazil. I mean, I don't know why I just picked on him because
Yeah, why don't you pick on the guy who played center forward, the pretend center forward?
No, you don't like Gabriel Jesus. But even the fact that Gabriel Jesus had not played for a month, was still injured when he was called up by Fernando Diniz, went still to the training camp, trained, and then he played. And okay, there was no setback. He played, all of that. But even that was strange.
What I don't follow here, and this doesn't make any sense to me, is okay, you want an interim manager because you believe you want Ancelotti. You know how Ancelotti has been playing at Real Madrid. Ancelotti isn't, he's not a guy, he's a very flexible manager. He can play very attacking football, he can play very defensive football. But you know the football he's been playing with Real Madrid the last couple years, right? Why would you bring in a manager like Fernando Diniz, who, by the way, also has another job at the same time, and a very time-consuming job because he won the Libertadores, who plays a football which I don't know if we want to call it 4-2-4. I don't know if that's what you call it, but it certainly is extremely attacking, and it puts a lot of strain, I think, on the defenders. It's kind of like a high-pressing game, which is difficult to do with a national team. It's easier to do with a club team, obviously, because you can train more and get your movements. What is the logic there?
Yeah. And Fernando Diniz thinks football completely different from Carlo Ancelotti, as you said, Gabi. Ancelotti is a very flexible manager. And Fernando Diniz, not. He's unflexible manager because he thinks football in a specific way. And with Fluminense, it's working very well. But he needs time to practice with the players. He needs months. He needed many, many months with Fluminense to win a trophy, and they won the Copa Libertadores. Why did CBF bring Fernando Diniz? Because they thought that Ramon Menezes would be enough. This is the first point. They really thought that Ramon Menezes, an experienced coach who works with the under-20 team, would be enough for the Brazilian national team. Because with Tite, our former head coach, with Tite, everything was so easy at the qualifying that they thought that would be easy again with any manager.
But Tite is a really, really good manager.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the difference.
This is the first mistake. And then when they realized that Ramon Menezes could not go on as the Brazilian manager, they thought, what can we do now? Let's bring the best Brazilian manager who is working in Brazil now. So who is this guy? Fernando Diniz. They didn't even think about the ideas of football that Fernando Diniz has and what Carlo Ancelotti thinks about football. Actually, I don't even think that Edinaldo Rodrigues, the Brazilian Football Federation president, knows how Carlo Ancelotti thinks football. I'm sure of that.
But he must have football technical directors, football advisors around him, even if he's not an expert.
No, Gab. No, they are not. They are not nowadays in Brazil, because after the departure of Tite, Juninho, it was Edu before, then Juninho Paulista, the former Middlesbrough player. So nowadays in Brazil, everything is decided by Edinaldo Rodrigues, who was not a football player, who was always a politician inside the Brazilian football. So this is a really good point, because I think that everybody's understanding how CBF works. With Tite and Edu Gaspar and then Juninho Paulista, we had the football team separated from the politics in CBF. Nowadays, it's everything mixed.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It seems crazy, Jules, also because I don't think Carlo Ancelotti is greedy, but he's not cheap either. I'm assuming when he comes, will probably be a massive investment, or if he comes, for the CBF, right? And why wouldn't you go and do all your research and your due diligence?
Yeah, it's a good point. And also, if he doesn't come, what do you do? Would you stick with Fernando Diniz now, but you want him as your national team head coach, so he has to give up on Fluminense? If he doesn't want to give up on Fluminense, what do? Do you go for somebody else?
No, I tell you what you do is you go on your knees to Tite's house and you say, Tite, please.
Come back.
Just for the Copa America. Just come back. Right? Is that a possibility?
Well, Fernando, Fernando Diniz will probably be the manager in Copa America. Will probably be the manager till next year, and to understand what happened. I think, Gab. No, another curious point. Fernando Diniz worked again yesterday because Fluminense played in the Brazilian Championship.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. And Fluminense beat São Paulo 1-0 with Herman Cano, the Argentinian forward goal. So Fernando Diniz worked 2 days in a row in Brazil with the national team and then with his team. And I think that January will be will be when we really will know what's gonna happen, because Brazil needs to know if Carlo Ancelotti will be the manager, and also Real Madrid needs to know what's gonna be for the next season. Real Madrid won't wait for that. They need to know, will Carlo Ancelotti be the manager? Will they try to push for Xabi Alonso? Will be Raul? Who's gonna be the Real Madrid manager next season?
I think from that part, Real Madrid can know very, very quickly. I think
It's their call anyway. So
it's their call. So if they want to say, Carleto, can you stay another year? I think they can get this wrapped up very, very quickly.
Yeah.
If they want Xabi Alonso or Raul, then I think Raul would sign tomorrow, and you just have to give him the fare for the metro to get to Valdebebas. That's easy. Xabi Alonso might take some more effort, but I think Real Madrid can control this. I have zero sympathy for Real Madrid right now because they are in control. I don't want to be too negative about Brazil. I'm going to ask you about Scaloni in a minute, but just to get us a little bit excited about what will be, to help Brazil fans out of their funk. It's the Copa America final, 2016. Everybody who can realistically be fit, 2024. Everybody who can realistically be fit for the final is fit. Can you tell me what you think the lineup is?
For the Copa America 2020.
Yeah, assuming everybody's fit, who can realistically be fit, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
because I want to show people that when you complain about Brazil, this is the worst team, we don't have the players, blah, blah, blah. No, you do have the players. Compared to my country, compared to Italy anyway. So tell me the lineup.
Okay. Goalkeeper, we have Alisson and Ederson, Liverpool and Manchester
That's
City.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, fullback at right, Danilo from Juventus. At left, who Brazil is really missing Danilo. At the left back, we can have Caio Henrique, for example, from Monaco.
Yeah, it's good.
The defenders, Marquinhos, one of the best in the world. Bremer from Juventus. Gabriel Magalhães, who's playing for Arsenal. In the midfield, we have Casemiro, we have Bruno Guimarães. We can have Joelinton again.
Paqueta.
Lucas Paquetá for sure.
If he's not banned for life, but yeah.
You said
of course,
so you can have Bruno and Paqueta and Casemiro.
Okay.
So Lucas Paquetá as an offensive midfielder. And the forwards, we have Vinicius, Rodrigo, Martinelli, Endrick, who's going to be a Real Madrid player soon. So options we really have.
João Pedro, if you want a big man, yes.
Yeah.
And Neymar.
Neymar, of course.
Will Neymar be fit for the Copa America? I don't know. That's a question.
Yeah.
But you can have him later. Yeah. So Brazil fans, with this talent, it's kind of hard to screw it up. Once you get in the competition, once you get in the tournament.
It's not good not to win 4 games in a row, to win 3 in a row. It's not,
I agree.
The next game is against England and Gareth Southgate, so they should win that.
It's a friendly. Stop being so.